So, during the State of the Union, we all saw that incredible moment. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Eric Slover, one of the Army's absolute best pilots, receiving the Medal of Honor. But you know, behind all that applause, a single question started popping up all over the internet.
Right. What did he do? What exactly happened to earn the nation's highest award for valor? Well, that's the story we're going to unpack. And let me tell you, the answer isn't simple, and it's definitely not pretty. It's a story of unbelievable courage in the face of just unimaginable fire.
Okay, so for most of us, the story starts right here, February 24th, 2026, at the US Capitol. It was this solemn, really dignified ceremony that was broadcast to millions of people. But this moment, under all the bright lights, it's really just the last page of a much darker, much more violent book. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The ceremony is the recognition, for sure. But the real story, the one that actually earned that medal, it happened a world away from any cameras. It happened in the pitch black, with the sound of machine guns ripping through the air.
All right, so let's go back. Let's go to where it all went down. We're talking January 3rd, 2026, deep in a remote part of Venezuela. Chief Warrant Officer Slover was flying in support of Operation Absolute Resolve. And get this, even before a single shot was fired, the mission itself was just insanely dangerous.
As the lead aircraft, Slover was literally the tip of the spear. He was the first one heading into the hornet's nest. He wasn't just flying, he was trying to navigate this dense jungle valley in terrible weather against what the official Citation calls hostile integrated air defenses. This wasn't just a guy with a rifle. It was a whole network of anti-aircraft weapons waiting for him. He was, for all intents and purposes, flying while being hunted.
And then they get to the landing zone, the LZ. This is the moment where everything just shatters. The super tense flight suddenly becomes this instant explosion of pure violence. The second his helicopter touched the ground, the world just erupted around him.
The attack was immediate and it was personal. The Citation is crystal clear on this. We're not talking about distant, random fire. This was a planned ambush. Multiple machine guns firing from point-blank range. They had landed right in the middle of a kill zone.
And this number just paints a terrifying picture. 15 armor-piercing rounds punched right through the cockpit. These aren't regular bullets. These things are designed to shred through metal and armor. They rip through the aircraft, filling that tiny space with shrapnel and pure chaos.
And amid that absolute storm of metal, 4 of those rounds hit Eric Slover directly in the leg. So think about this. He's now in a crippled aircraft under withering fire, and he is severely wounded and bleeding. And somehow he has to keep control of this machine while dozens of lives are hanging in the balance.
And what happens next? This is the heart of the story. This is the exact reason he was awarded the Medal of Honor. It all boils down to a choice he made in a split second, while under attack and in absolute agony.
The Medal of Honor isn't just for being tough or for being a hero in general. It's for this specific moment. A conscious, deliberate decision to choose your duty, to choose the lives of others over your own survival when the risk to yourself is as extreme as it gets. Just keep that definition in your head.
So imagine you're him. Every single survival instinct in your body is screaming, get out, pull pitch, get this helicopter out of the line of fire, and save yourself. That's the safer thing to do. But troops were still pouring out of the back. If he took off, they could be crushed or just left behind to be slaughtered. So in that instant, he made a choice, not for survival, for duty. He held that helicopter perfectly still, making himself a sitting duck, just to make sure every last soldier got out safely.
But here's what's so incredible. It didn't stop there. His heroism wasn't over. Getting the troops out was just the beginning. Even after being shot 4 times, with his helicopter getting torn to pieces around him, he didn't just sit there and take it. He went back on the offensive.
While bleeding and in agony, he was still thinking like a warrior. First, he spotted the enemy machine guns that were hammering his aircraft and the troops on the ground. Then, he deliberately maneuvered his damaged helicopter to give his door gunner a clean shot. He turned his aircraft into both a shield and a weapon to protect his team.
So when you start to put all those pieces together, you really begin to understand why this specific act of bravery meets that extraordinary standard for the Medal of Honor. It's a whole chain of decisions, and every single one was selfless, and every single one was made under the most intense pressure you can possibly imagine. So let's circle all the way back to that original question everybody was asking. What did he do? Well, he led the charge into danger. He landed in a kill box.
He took round after round, got hit himself, and instead of bailing out to save his own skin, he held his position to save his guys. And then he fought back to protect them on the ground. Plain and simple, he saved countless American lives. That's what he did.
And maybe this is the biggest takeaway from all of this. Real courage isn't about loud speeches or bravado. It's quiet. It's focused. It's a wounded pilot in unimaginable pain making the conscious choice to keep his hands and feet on the controls. Because the lives of the people he was responsible for mattered more than his fear and more than his pain. And now, you know the story behind the medal.